Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. Can you believe that in a few weeks we will be kicking off the holiday season, which is why I wanted to come to you with just a few tips on how to do just that. So you may want to get your pen, your paper out. You may just want to listen and then listen to it again. And also, I hope you share this with a friend. So I've got like just six little strategies on just how you can kind of simplify your holiday season. So let's start with the number one. And first of all, there is a day in the month of November called Use Less Stuff Day. Yes, Use Less Stuff Day. And I'm sure we could all benefit from that. But it was basically created to help us reduce waste, spend intentionally, and simplify. Again, reduce waste, spend intentionally, and simplify. And it's usually celebrated the day before Thanksgiving because that day after Thanksgiving, all those sales, and we just sometimes run to those stores and get all that stuff, and a lot of that stuff we don't need because, as you know, 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. And we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. I had to share that with you. So, but this is a great thing to just kind of kick off before the holiday season. Use less stuff. They like, what areas can you use less stuff? Decorations, maybe the things you put out for the party planning, maybe even the gifts you buy. Just something. The next number, that's number one. Number two is declutter before you decorate. So a lot of you probably have already laid things out, what you want, where you want it, your colors, your theme. But also before you start actually digging in and putting things up, are there areas, are there corners, are there countertops, are there surfaces that need to be decluttered? And specifically sometimes rooms because we're inviting guests over. So, but also in all of that, is it time to declutter the decorations? So take an inventory of your decorations. Do you need all of those decorations? And if you are not, donate them. I still remember I donated the 6 foot tree. Yes, it was a 6 foot tree, and it was getting to the point where it was a little being challenging for me to actually put it up and take it down. And when it's just me, when you've got other people helping you, it helps a little bit. But so that's something I did. So I donated it. And it really made me feel good. And then also making sure that you are able to store everything that you have. Now, a lot of you have that space, whether it's in your attic, your basement, your garages, where you can store things using clear containers. But of course, just making sure that you actually have space for it because that may give you a sign that it may be time to declutter. So use less stuff, declutter before you decorate. And number three, simplify your gift giving. Maybe focus sometimes on experiences instead of things. Because sometimes people, specifically when you have been, whether it's family or maybe friends you've known since elementary school, and each year you just exchange gifts. But is it time to possibly simplify? Give some experiences. I still remember how, so I actually purchased a gift for someone where we did a food tasting around the city. People have given me gift certificates to restaurants because they know I'm a foodie. So sometimes those gifts are just as precious and mean just as much as some of the other things that are physical. But of course, sometimes you may realize somebody needs something, and of course, you definitely want to buy that for them as well. But also try a want, need, wear, and read strategy for the family. Want, need, wear, read. Maybe somebody needs some socks or a scarf because their favorite scarf, they can't find it anymore. Maybe there's a book they've been wanting to read. Maybe they've been wanting to, experience something at a museum. Or maybe they really just need some things. Maybe they've moved into a new house and they need things. So think about those when you would definitely think about simplifying. And of course, I love homemade. I still remember the Christmas where somebody gave me some homemade baked goods. I enjoyed them to the fullest. So those are some things that you can actually think about as well. So that's number three. Number four is those holiday meals and actually managing them. Plan meals with a purpose. And of course, in September, I did a meal planning, meal prep discussion with Narda. So you might want to go check that one out. But think about meal planning and meal prep because, first of all, it helps you stay within a specific budget. And also, you don't, allow yourself to actually just have way too much. And then you've got so much food, you got to give it away, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes doing that can help you. Also, potluck. Why not do a potluck? Somebody bring dessert, somebody bring the beverages, somebody maybe bring a couple of appetizers, and that can help you as well. Because we're talking about simplifying. Simplifying the time and energy is going to take you to do these things. And then the next one is, of course, right now is a great time. So this coming weekend, go into that pantry, organize, make sure you have everything that you need for whatever you're going to be preparing. And of course, you may already have a lot of things because a lot of times we'll start making a list of everything we need. We'll run to the store and realize that we've already had it in the pantry. So think about that as well. Organize that pantry so that everything you need, all the ingredients, are just readily available and accessible. So, number five is rethink some traditions. What do you really enjoy? What are some of the, obligations that you have? And this is a great time to take out that calendar and actually start planning. Making sure you plan whether you've got company events, whether you got family obligations, community events, so you will know exactly what you have coming up and you can prepare your energy and your time accordingly. But what things do you like and what things you don't? For me, for years, I loved going, visiting my cousin, and just kind of really staying close to home. I didn't necessarily have to go out and go to this place and go to see that. She did have a few things lined up, like a play, and then maybe one of those where we can go in and see some of the Christmas decorations. But other than that, we enjoyed spending time together at home, curled up on the sofa, watching movies and eating a lot of her wonderful foods. So think about that. But then that helps you plan so you are enjoying the holiday season and not necessarily exhausted from it. And of course, making sure when you do all of that, creating some self-care time as well. And of course, I'm going to read this, less events equals more peace and presence. Less events. There's a lot of things going on in the holiday season, and we can't possibly do them all because we've got obligations for work or our business. Then we've got obligations, if you've got children, they might have things going on in their schools. Then, of course, you may have community things you want to do, family things, but you can't do it all. So think about that. And I realized that one year when I tried to squeeze everything into one Sunday. I know. I went to church. Afterwards, I went to a cookie baking event. Then afterwards, I went to a cookie eating event. And I realized the cookie eating and the cookie baking cannot be on the same day. They have to be separated because afterwards, you can only imagine. I'm making things, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also eating things and enjoying those as well. So think about that. And then, of course, number six, organize now for a calmer season. Maybe create a binder, or a lot of you are really tech savvy. So do something, create something so that you can have your checklist, you can got your schedules, all the things you need are within reach. So you're not constantly trying to remember things, you can review it every day. Also, this is a great time, and a lot of families do this where they ask the children to think of something they want to donate because they want to get them in the habit of constantly, taking seasons like this to donate, to make room for the new things that you're going to get, and also just to let them know how great it is when you do give somebody something that you just haven't even used in a while. And of course, making sure you set boundaries. Set boundaries for yourself in regards to your time, your energy, and also your budget as well. Because we all have budgets. And sometimes in order to be that people pleaser, we maybe go beyond that budget, but set some boundaries for your budget. So I'm going to repeat all of these. And again, number one is, basically, think about what you can do during Use Less Stuff Day, which is the day before Thanksgiving. What can you do? Maybe use less decorations, you know, put out less things in regards, instead of like six appetizers, maybe only put out four. Just a thought. And then, of course, declutter before you decorate, whether you got to clear off surfaces or really think about all the decorations you have. Are you using them? Are there some that actually can be donated? Simplify your gift giving. Focus on experiences, but also, again, I'm going to repeat this, try a want, need, wear, and read strategy for the family. What do they want that maybe right now that, depending, they may have been laid off that they can't budget for? Maybe they need some things like socks or just a good scarf. Maybe, you know, they want to wear the hat to their favorite team. And of course, read. What is something they really want to read? And of course, don't forget those homemade and those personalized items as well. So, whether you make something, homemade, or there's so many wonderful small businesses. So don't forget about that small business Saturday that can create something personalized and you'll be supporting a small business. And then, of course, managing the holiday meals, planning the holiday meals, having a potluck where everyone brings a little something, organizing the pantry, because that could be almost a time saver and a stress reducer for yourself as well. Rethink some traditions. Those obligations and those traditions. Is this something we really want to do? We did this when the kids were smaller, but now everybody's grown and they have their own children. Less events, more peace and presence. And organize now for a calmer season, which means getting out that calendar, listing things, setting boundaries for you as well as your family, because maybe it's time for everyone just to kind of take a moment because you're going here, there, and everywhere. So I would love to know which one of these little tips and strategies that you are actually going to um, take advantage of the holiday season. But also, let me know like what you're thinking about doing. Like, do you have any traditions, things like that? So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this solo episode. Got Clutter, Get Organized. So for those of you who will be listening via the audio version, please continue. So thank you so much. Continue to have a clutter-free day. So, what was your takeaway from my solo episode about just simplifying your holiday season? Are you going to use less stuff? Are you going to organize that pantry? Are you going to just organize your time for a calmer season? Or maybe you're going to actually, this year give gifts as experiences or personalize them. I would love for you to share. So please post in the comments below. And of course, if you're looking for possibly a different and unique gift, think about giving the gift of organization this season because I've got some great sessions that can help you or your loved one on their journey to get organized. So thank you so much. And you continue to have a great day, but also a clutter free day.